Ladies and gentlemen, today I stand before you to speak about something that holds the power to change lives, unite people, and bring clarity in the midst of chaos. That something is the unshakable truth, a force that cannot be bent by opinion, silenced by fear, or erased by time. Truth is an unchanging force, unaffected by time, opinion, or circumstance. Unlike trends that come and go, truth remains constant, standing firm despite the shifting tides of human perception. Throughout history, people have tried to redefine or distort the truth to suit their interests, but truth does not bend to personal desires or societal pressure. It exists independently of what people want to believe, and no amount of denial or manipulation can alter its essence. In a world where information is readily available and opinions are often mistaken for facts, the ability to distinguish truth from falsehood has become more critical than ever. Many people assume that truth is relative, meaning it changes based on perspective. However, reality does not shift based on belief. If something is true, it remains true whether or not people acknowledge it. This is why truth is unshakable. It is not subject to the whims of human emotion or preference. Consider the laws of nature. Gravity, for example, is a fundamental truth. It does not matter if someone believes they can defy it. The truth of gravity remains unchanged. Similarly, moral and ethical truths do not lose their validity simply because society's opinions evolve. Honesty, integrity, and justice have always been pillars of a strong and just civilization. Attempts to redefine these values to fit personal agendas do not change their fundamental truth. History provides countless examples of societies and leaders attempting to suppress or distort the truth. Dictators have rewritten history books, corporations have hidden facts for profit, and individuals have twisted reality for personal gain. Yet, in the end, truth always emerges. Consider the case of scientific discoveries. For centuries, people believed that the Earth was the center of the universe. When Copernicus and Galileo presented evidence to the contrary, they faced intense opposition. However, the truth of a heliocentric solar system did not change simply because powerful authorities refused to accept it. Eventually, as evidence continued to build, the truth could no longer be denied. Truth is also resilient in personal and social settings. Lies may seem to provide temporary advantages, but they eventually unravel. A person who builds their life on deception will find that the weight of falsehoods becomes unbearable. Relationships, businesses, and reputations collapse when built on dishonesty. In contrast, those who commit to truth, even when it is difficult, earn trust and respect over time. And one of the greatest challenges people face is accepting truth when it contradicts their desires. It is human nature to seek comfort, and sometimes the truth is uncomfortable. People may prefer illusions that make them feel secure, even if they are misleading. However, lasting peace and strength come from facing reality rather than escaping it. True growth occurs when individuals embrace truth, even when it is inconvenient or painful. Social media and digital platforms have made it easier than ever for misinformation to spread. In an era of viral content and mass communication, lies can travel quickly, influencing millions before the truth has a chance to be heard. However, despite the noise of falsehoods, truth remains unshaken. Eventually, deception is exposed and reality takes its rightful place. This is why critical thinking, discernment, and a commitment to seeking truth are so essential. Those who stand by the truth, even when it is unpopular, demonstrate great courage. History celebrates those who spoke the truth in times of widespread deception, whether it is whistleblowers revealing corruption, journalists uncovering injustices, or individuals standing against societal wrongs. Truth tellers shape the world for the better. Their words and actions may face resistance, but time always vindicates the truth. Truth is not something that requires approval or validation to exist. It does not change based on public opinion or personal convenience. It is a solid foundation upon which integrity, justice, and wisdom are built. No matter how much the world shifts, truth remains constant, unshaken by the forces that try to challenge it. Truth possesses an undeniable power that transcends generations, cultures, and ideologies. It has the strength to shape societies, bring justice, and challenge even the most deeply ingrained falsehoods. Throughout history, truth has been both a weapon against oppression and a guiding light for progress. Though lies may appear to thrive temporarily, they are ultimately weak in the face of truth's resilience. Truth does not require force to prevail. It only requires time and courage. One of the most significant aspects of truth's power is its ability to dismantle deception. Lies can create illusions of security and control, but they are never sustainable. The longer a falsehood is maintained, the more fragile it becomes. When truth emerges, it often does so with undeniable force, breaking down years of deceit in a single moment. This has been seen time and again, from political scandals to corporate fraud, where truth eventually exposes those who attempt to conceal it. Even when those in power seek to suppress it, truth has a way of revealing itself through persistence and undeniable evidence. History is filled with examples of truth overcoming deception. During the civil rights movement, false narratives were spread to justify segregation and discrimination. However, the undeniable truth of human equality was more powerful than the lies that upheld racial injustice. Leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. used truth as their greatest weapon, refusing to retaliate with violence and instead allowing the sheer moral force of truth to break barriers. Over time, oppressive systems that seemed immovable began to collapse under the weight of truth's undeniable presence. Truth also has the power to inspire change. When people are confronted with truth, especially uncomfortable truths, they are forced to make a choice. They can either reject it and cling to illusion, or they can embrace it and grow. Societies that acknowledge truth, even when painful, have the capacity to reform and improve. The acknowledgement of historical injustices, environmental crises, and social inequalities has led to transformative movements that reshape the world for the better. In science, truth fuels progress. Many of the greatest scientific advancements were initially met with resistance because they challenged established beliefs. When Galileo proposed that the Earth revolved around the sun, he was met with condemnation. However, scientific truth does not bend to authority or belief. It stands firm, waiting for people to accept it. Over time, undeniable evidence forced the world to acknowledge what was once considered radical. This same pattern can be seen with medical breakthroughs, technological advancements, and discoveries that redefine how humanity understands the universe. Truth also strengthens personal character. Individuals who embrace truth develop integrity, wisdom, and resilience. Those who build their lives on deception may gain temporary advantages, but their foundations are weak. The moment a lie is exposed, trust is broken and credibility is lost. In contrast, truth provides stability. It allows people to navigate life with clarity and confidence, unburdened by the fear of being exposed. Even in the darkest times, truth provides hope. Many have suffered under oppressive regimes that sought to erase reality and replace it with propaganda. However, truth never disappears. It lives in the minds and hearts of those who refuse to let it be forgotten. The fall of dictatorships, the collapse of corrupt institutions, and the triumph of justice over oppression all stem from truth's relentless presence. Even when silenced, truth remains a quiet force, waiting for the right moment to rise. Truth does not require validation to exist. It does not fade when ignored, nor does it weaken when challenged. It is a force that remains steadfast, waiting for people to recognize its power. Lies may win battles, but truth wins wars. It is the foundation upon which justice, progress, and integrity are built. No matter how long it takes, truth always prevails. Standing for truth requires immense courage. It is easy to go along with popular opinion, to remain silent in the face of deception, or to conform to what is convenient. But truth demands something greater. It calls for individuals to uphold honesty, integrity, and justice, even when doing so is difficult or unpopular. Those who stand for truth must be prepared to face resistance, criticism, and sometimes even personal loss. Yet, history has shown that those who have the courage to defend truth are the ones who bring real change and progress to the world. One of the greatest challenges of standing for truth is the opposition that often comes with it. Speaking the truth can make people uncomfortable, especially when it contradicts long-held beliefs, challenges authority, or exposes wrongdoing. Many individuals throughout history have suffered persecution simply because they refuse to accept lies. Socrates, for example, was sentenced to death for questioning the accepted norms of his time and seeking deeper wisdom. Galileo faced imprisonment for defending scientific truth against religious dogma. Martin Luther King Jr. was jailed and ultimately assassinated for speaking against racial injustice. These individuals knew the risks they faced, yet they chose truth over comfort because they understood that real progress requires sacrifice. In today's world, standing for truth still demands bravery. In the age of misinformation, propaganda, and social pressure, speaking out against falsehoods can lead to criticism, alienation, or even professional and personal consequences. Many whistleblowers have faced severe backlash for exposing corruption, fraud, or injustice. Journalists, activists, and individuals who refuse to accept lies often endure threats, legal battles, or public scrutiny. However, their courage ensures that deception does not go unchallenged and that truth remains a guiding principle in society. Fear often keeps people from standing for truth. The fear of being rejected, ridiculed, or punished can silence even the most well-intentioned individuals. It is easier to stay quiet, to look the other way, or to pretend that a problem does not exist. However, history has proven that silence in the face of falsehood is just as harmful as spreading lies. When people refuse to speak the truth, they allow injustice, corruption, and deception to thrive. The courage to stand for truth is not just about personal integrity. It is about ensuring that the world remains a place where honesty and justice prevail. Standing for truth also requires self-awareness and a commitment to personal growth. It is not just about challenging the lies of others. It is also about being honest with oneself. People must be willing to examine their own biases, admit when they are wrong, and seek the truth even when it is uncomfortable. This requires humility and a willingness to learn. Those who stand for truth must be open to evidence, willing to change their perspectives when necessary, and committed to living with integrity in all aspects of life. Another essential aspect of standing for truth is resilience. The journey is not always easy, and setbacks are inevitable. Lies often have strong defenders, and those who spread deception may have power, wealth, or influence. But truth is persistent. It does not fade, and it cannot be destroyed. Those who fight for truth must be prepared to endure hardships, but they must also remember that their efforts are never in vain. Every voice that speaks the truth, no matter how small, contributes to a greater movement toward justice and enlightenment. Ultimately, standing for truth is not just an act of defiance, it is an act of hope. It is a belief that honesty, integrity, and justice will always be stronger than deception. Those who have the courage to uphold truth become beacons of light in a world that often prefers shadows. They inspire others to do the same, creating a ripple effect that can change communities, societies, and even the course of history. Truth may not always be the easiest path, but it is always the right one. And those who choose to walk it will leave a lasting legacy that cannot be erased. Truth is the foundation upon which a just and functional society is built. Without truth, trust is broken, justice is compromised, and people are left in confusion rather than clarity. Every aspect of human civilization, governments, economies, relationships, and institutions relies on truth to operate effectively. When truth is respected, society thrives. When it is ignored or distorted, chaos follows. The impact of truth extends far beyond individual beliefs. It determines the moral, ethical, and structural integrity of an entire nation. Trust is one of the most significant casualties of a society that does not prioritize truth. Trust between people, between citizens and their government, and between businesses and consumers all depend on truthfulness. When leaders lie, when companies deceive, or when individuals act dishonestly, trust begins to erode. Once trust is lost, it is incredibly difficult to rebuild. A society without trust becomes divided, unstable, and filled with suspicion. People will become hesitant to believe in institutions, laws, and even one another. This leads to corruption, economic decline, and a breakdown of cooperation. Justice is also impossible without truth. A legal system that does not prioritize truth cannot deliver fair outcomes. Imagine a world where lies are accepted as evidence, where manipulation determines guilt or innocence, and where facts are discarded in favor of personal interests. Such a system would collapse under its own weight, leading to oppression and widespread suffering. History has shown that societies that abandon truth in the pursuit of power ultimately fail. Dictatorships and corrupt regimes thrive on deception, but their downfall is always inevitable because truth cannot be suppressed forever. The greatest revolutions in history have been fueled by people demanding truth, justice, and fairness. Misinformation and deception also create deep divisions within society. When people cannot agree on what is true, they become polarized, making cooperation nearly impossible. Political, social, and ideological conflicts often stem from different versions of reality being presented as truth. When facts are distorted, people form opinions based on falsehoods, leading to unnecessary tension and hostility. However, when a society commits to truth, it fosters unity, mutual understanding, and the ability to solve complex problems together. The media plays a crucial role in shaping the way society perceives truth. In an era where information spreads rapidly, it is essential to have reliable sources that prioritize accuracy over sensationalism. Unfortunately, false narratives and biased reporting have contributed to widespread confusion and division. People must be vigilant in seeking truth rather than blindly accepting information that aligns with their pre-existing beliefs. A well-informed society is one that values evidence, critical thinking, and intellectual honesty. When the media and educational institutions promote truth, society becomes more rational, balanced, and progressive. On an individual level, truth shapes personal relationships and ethical behavior. Honesty is the foundation of strong relationships, whether in friendships, marriages, or business partnerships. Deception leads to betrayal, mistrust, and broken connections. When truth is prioritized, relationships are built on respect, reliability, and integrity. Similarly, ethical behavior in business and politics depends on truthfulness. Leaders who value truth make decisions that benefit the greater good rather than serving their own selfish interests. Employees who are truthful contribute to a positive work culture, and consumers who demand honesty hold companies accountable for their actions. Education is another pillar of truth in society. A society that values truth invests in knowledge, scientific research, and intellectual growth. When education is manipulated for political or ideological purposes, the consequences are disastrous. Future generations are deprived of the ability to think critically, and ignorance spreads. However, when education is based on truth, it empowers people to make informed decisions, innovate, and contribute positively to the world. Ultimately, truth is not just an abstract concept. It is the very fabric that holds society together. A society that embraces truth is one that flourishes, while a society that disregards truth is destined to struggle. The choice between truth and deception is the choice between progress and decay. If truth is upheld, justice prevails, trust is maintained, and communities prosper. However, if truth is abandoned, division, corruption, and instability take its place. The future of any society depends on whether it chooses to build upon the solid foundation of truth or the fragile illusion of falsehood. Living the truth is not just about speaking honestly, it is about embodying truth in every aspect of life. It is a commitment to integrity, consistency, and authenticity, ensuring that one's actions align with one's words. Many people claim to value truth, yet their choices and behaviors often contradict their stated beliefs. True integrity comes from not just knowing the truth, but living by it, even when it is inconvenient or difficult. A life built on truth creates trust, stability, and a sense of purpose, while a life built on deception leads to confusion, betrayal, and regret. One of the key aspects of living the truth is self-honesty. People often deceive themselves before they deceive others, convincing themselves of false narratives to justify actions or avoid difficult realities. However, true growth begins when a person is willing to confront their own flaws, mistakes, and biases. A person who lives the truth does not ignore their weaknesses, but acknowledges them and works toward improvement. Self-honesty leads to self-awareness, and self-awareness leads to wisdom. Those who are willing to see themselves as they truly are, without excuses or illusions, are the ones who can grow, change, and achieve true fulfillment. Integrity is another essential part of living the truth. Integrity means doing the right thing even when no one is watching. It means standing by principles even when there is pressure to compromise. Many people adjust their values based on circumstances, choosing honesty only when it benefits them. However, true integrity is unwavering. It is the ability to maintain truthfulness, not just in public, but in private, not just when convenient, but when it is challenging. People who live with integrity earn the respect of others because they are reliable, trustworthy, and consistent in their actions. Living the truth also requires courage. Society often rewards those who conform rather than those who challenge the status quo. It can be tempting to go along with falsehoods to avoid conflict or to gain acceptance. However, true strength comes from standing firm in one's beliefs, even in the face of opposition. Those who live the truth understand that short-term discomfort is a small price to pay for long-term integrity. They refuse to betray their principles for approval, wealth, or power because they recognize that external success is meaningless if it is built on deception. Another aspect of living the truth is accountability. When people make mistakes, their willingness to take responsibility defines their character. Many try to shift blame, make excuses, or cover up their faults. However, true integrity means admitting when one is wrong and making amends. This is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of strength. A person who owns up to their mistakes and learns from them gains the respect of others and earns credibility. In contrast, those who hide the truth eventually find themselves trapped in their own web of deception. Living the truth also involves being truthful in relationships. Honesty is the foundation of strong connections, whether in friendships, romantic relationships, or professional interactions. Trust is built on truth, and once it is broken, it is difficult to repair. People who consistently tell the truth, even when it is difficult, create bonds based on mutual respect and reliability. In contrast, dishonesty leads to betrayal, misunderstandings, and broken relationships. Those who live the truth understand that honesty fosters deeper and more meaningful connections. Living the truth extends beyond personal conduct. It also means standing for what is right in society. Many injustices persist because people remain silent in the face of falsehood. Those who live by the truth do not look away when they see wrongdoing. They speak up, take action, and refuse to be complicit in deception or oppression. Their commitment to truth inspires others to do the same, creating a ripple effect that promotes justice and integrity on a larger scale. Ultimately, living the truth is about aligning one's thoughts, words, and actions with honesty and integrity. It is a lifelong commitment that requires self-awareness, courage, and accountability. Those who embrace truth not only live with a clear conscience, but also contribute to a more just and trustworthy world. A life built on truth is a life of strength, clarity, and purpose. One that leaves a lasting impact on others and stands the test of time. Truth is not just a personal virtue. It has a profound impact on the world. When people commit to truth, they inspire others to do the same, creating a ripple effect that extends beyond individual lives. One person's decision to stand for truth can influence families, communities, and even entire societies. Truth has the power to shape the moral fabric of the world, bringing about justice, trust, and progress. One of the most powerful effects of truth is its ability to break cycles of deception. Lies often spread when people remain silent or choose convenience over honesty. However, when one person has the courage to speak the truth, it encourages others to follow. History is full of individuals who changed the course of events simply by refusing to accept falsehoods. From civil rights activists to investigative journalists, those who stand for truth set an example that others are inspired to follow. Their actions create movements, challenge corruption, and expose injustice, leading to real and lasting change. Truth also fosters deeper connections between people. When individuals are honest in their relationships, they create trust and understanding. Families built on truth are stronger because there is open communication and mutual respect. Friendships thrive when people are honest with one another, even when the truth is difficult. In workplaces and communities, truth builds credibility and cooperation, allowing people to work together with confidence. The influence of truth extends through these relationships, strengthening society as a whole. Another way truth impacts the world is through education and knowledge. Societies that value truth invest in learning, research, and intellectual progress. They encourage open discussion, scientific discovery, and critical thinking. When truth is suppressed, misinformation spreads and ignorance takes hold. However, when truth is prioritized, knowledge flourishes, leading to advancements in medicine, technology, and human rights. The pursuit of truth drives innovation and allows societies to solve complex problems with wisdom and clarity. Ultimately, the influence of truth is limitless. Every time someone chooses to be honest, to stand against deception, or to seek knowledge, they contribute to a world that is more just, informed, and united. Truth is not just an individual choice, it is a force that shapes the course of history. By committing to truth in daily life, people play a part in creating a future where integrity and justice prevail.